The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6. The price. How much is too much to pay? Let's talk about it. Welcome back, Evariant. So we are talking about Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6, and this one was a banger, but for a different reason. All right, not necessarily because we got to fight off everybody and all that stuff. No, it's because we get a little bit more understanding about Joel and Ellie and what their characters are about and what their arcs are kind of leading up to. So, even though we know that Joel has passed on, spoilers if you haven't already watched, we get more of a understanding of his character and kind of why he did what he did, why he is the way that he is. So this starts off for the flashback. We see a young kid. So we actually see a young Joel and Tommy who actually got in trouble for buying drugs. Mainly it was Tommy who was out buying the stuff and got in trouble and kind of got into it because the guy tried to shortchange him or whatever the case may be. And Joel went and stuck his neck out to make sure Tommy was okay and is actually trying to protect him from their father, Jay Miller, who is a police officer. So, with that being said, this flashback, which occurred, looks like 1983, I think it was, in Texas, they sat there and had a conversation. And it's like, they ever tell you about, the story when I stole the candy bar? I was like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, I'm just trying to keep you from, beating us because that's what it kind of seems like. I wasn't sure if he was an abusive father or he's just disciplining them. Freaking, there's a line where it goes too far. And again, if you have ever dealt with anything like that, freaking by all means reach out to the appropriate people for that. We want everybody safe. So, with that being said, he's trying to protect his brother, and we get the story of Jay Miller, the father, who tells a story about how he stole a candy bar, was made to return it, and apologized to the person he stole it from. And on the way home, before he could even get out the car, uh, his father freaking straight jaw jacked him enough to have his jaw wired shut for two freaking what 2 months. 2 months he had his jaw wire shut, like he was literally singing through the wire. um so with that being said, everybody knew what happened, everybody knew what it was about, so everybody knew what, you know more or less Jay Miller's father was about. Like, he wasn't about any of that nonsense, and he decided to dole out of physical abuse to the point where again he shattered his son's jaw. And now he tells that story to let me know because Joel is scared. Like, you can tell he is scared of that happening to him and his brother Tommy, especially because Tommy's the one who did what he did. Because of this, the father explains, like, I've never done that to you. I've never like hit your heart. Like, yeah, I may go overboard. So he admits to going overboard and probably doing too much stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. But he said, I've never gone that far with you. And he really expresses the point. It's like, you know, I'm just trying to be a little bit better so that than he was. So it's like he has restraints put on himself. He has shackles put on himself, by that trauma that he endured to keep him from going that far. But he still goes what is, I guess, considered over the line in his mind because he admitted to sometimes I go over. So that was a very important freaking piece to Joel's backstory, and we get that understanding. I mean, to Joel and Tommy's backstory, essentially. We don't see Tommy in the scene, um, right away, freaking, but it's Joel freaking that deals with the brunt of all this with the father, gets the explanation. Now we fast forward to, a year later, or not a year later, but some years later, and it's Ellie's birthday. It's her 15th birthday. And Joel went through everything, searching through houses, all that kind of stuff, and buying, he found stuff, Legos, whatever the case may be, and he has enough stuff to basically get Ellie a cake for her birthday. So he gets her a cake and he gets her a guitar, he sings her something. So it's a really great moment, great, father daughter moment. He's trying to be that father, freaking that part of him that he lost when he lost his daughter. So it's great to see that kind of going forward. Now, with that being said, we end up fast forwarding to year 16, and more or less the same thing. She's trying to go out on patrols. She wants to be able to go out and do that, But he ends up kind of taking her out to go see this abandoned museum, and they have a cool little space ride. And it's showing her being a kid, like she's enjoying herself. She sees the statue of the dinosaur, she's having a good time, she's being a kid. And this is where we see her transition, because as she gets to age 17, we see that he goes to surprise her for her birthday, and this time with freaking, nice, looks like chocolate cake, because chocolate was hard to get last time. So nice chocolate cake. I mean, he's going all out, and he finds her up in the room talking, because he was supposed to be on patrol. He came home early, and she's in the room. She's getting a tattoo, and I didn't mention this earlier, but she has a burn scar on her arm, because she's just trying to feel something, whatever the case may be. That's what happened when she was younger, but she's getting a tattoo over the burn scar. So she's getting a tattoo. She's smoking, illicit substances, and she's making out with a girl. Of course, Joel's got a problem with everything, because you're just doing everything. This is all the teenager stuff all at once. It's like it hit him like a truck all at once. Like, this is what you've been doing the entire, like, I'm out here patrol. Like, what's going on? So they blow up at each other. They have the whole thing, and they're not talking to each other for a little bit. Um, it's like a day or two, or whatever. But they end up, she ends up like, I want to go move out in the garage. And we see at the beginning of the season, she's living out in the garage. So it's like, I want to move out in the garage. And they end up having a conversation. And it's just like, no, freaking, let's talk about this. Let's figure it out. And they hash out. They both of them are lashing out. Both of them are trying to figure this thing out. Like, it's, she says it's not a phase with her being with girls, so like that. And he's trying to have the understanding and just make sure that he's not being too harsh on her. So they have a moment, they kind of reconcile. But then it gets to 19, and this is where stuff gets wild. Well, because she's got questions in her head. She's asking about Salt Lake City and what happened. We already know what Joel did. Joel got her out of there, right? Freaking. So she wants to know what happened, because she's like, I went in and I got pretty much, put to sleep when this was happening. So I knew all this was happening. Then all of a sudden I wake up and I'm out here, and you told me this thing, and that was it. I had no other questions. But as she got older, she got more and more understanding. So this is like 19 years old now. Again, she is older. So we skip, you know, 17, 18, whatever. We're at 19 while this is going on. So she has this list of questions she wants to ask, like what happened here, what is this, blah blah blah. So she keeps this to herself, and we found out that for her birthday, he's like, "Hey, I'm here to take you out on patrol. You already dressed?" Because she was debating her questions. Let's go out on patrol. This is your first patrol. Go have fun. Uh, more or less doing a patrol. So something she's been wanting to do. So they go out do the patrol and end up getting a radio call because another team had got into something. So they go check out the team, and we find out that people are injured. All right. If you remember the doctor from earlier in the show, she was upset because she lost her husband. Well, guess what? We found the husband, because this entire episode is basically flashbacks. So we find the husband, so that who has been bitten, and he's trying to get home. And Ellie even does a little test on him, freaking handshake test. It's like count to 10, and his hand doesn't shake. So she's like, he's got time. He needs to go see his wife. He just wants to go to the gate, see her, say what he's got to say, whatever the case may be, and that be the end of it. So Joel is like, we got rules, we don't do this. But Ellie is very insistent, so he's like, go get the horses. He walks him down by the lake, so that like he's going, and it's like, no, I can't. If you truly love someone, you can always see their face. Like, you don't need to go to see your face. If you got any words, I'll pass them along, but we got rules and stuff. You cannot go back to the thing. And he ends up taking the guy out. So with that, of course, Ellie comes back and sees that it's been done. She's upset. And when they end up bringing the body back and Joel is explaining, he said, I'm just going to tell her what she needs to hear, and that's it. Now, he promised Ellie that he wasn't going to shoot the guy and, say, go get the horses. He said it with the same face that he has every other day. And then when he came and told her, told the doctor to lie about, you know, he did it to himself. He wanted to see you. He wasn't scared. He was brave, or whatever sort of that. All that he said, all that with a straight face, and it was all a lie. And Ellie cannot take it anymore. She is visibly distraught the entire time, and she snaps. She's like, "No, this is what happened. He was brave. Joel shot him. Joel straight up shot him. He had time. He could have came back here." And the woman, the doctor, she was just hugging him. She turns around and smacks him. She's like, "Get away from me." And now we know why she was upset the entire time, and she just couldn't stand him. And he's always been coming to her, but she's like, I just can't. Why are you coming to me to talk to me about your problems when you're the one that killed my husband? Like, so, and we now know the full circle about why it happened. why it happened, when it happened, whatever the case may be. And after the truth was told with that, again, they didn't speak. Ellie's already living out in the garage uh, during all this process. Anyway, so they didn't speak for a while until the whole incident with um, the terminology said by Seth. So once it's all said and done, we see them kind of pass each other on the porch where he's playing the guitar. That's where they finally have the conversation. And this goes back to the last episode where she's like, "You know what Joel did, whatever," and Ellie's like, "Yeah, I know," and she continues freaking to make sure that the girl is ended. This is where they had that conversation, and she straight up said, like, "Tell me the truth. If you don't tell me, we're done. You need to tell me." So he cops to everything. He tells her the truth. This is what happened. This is what it is. It's like you don't understand it now. You probably won't ever understand it. But this is something that freaking I do because I love you. I care about you. I could not see you go through that. I need to protect you, and that's what I did. And he said if this could happen all over again, I would make the same choice. There would be no difference. And Ellie Sheriff says, like, freaking, I don't know if I can ever forgive you for this, but she was willing to try. So that brings a nice heartfelt moment where they had some reconciliation in those last moments of their relationship before it got to the point to where we saw Joel end up having to be dealt with the way he was dealt with. So I'm more than happy that's how it closed out. Freaking like we got something from him. We got to see Joel again, and we got to have them have that moment to where they can really be on the same page. Uh, After all that's done, we see a shot of Ellie back in the present day. She's walking back towards the theater, presumably to meet up with Dina and Jesse and Tommy and all of them, and kind of do whatever they got to do going forward. And it's the season finale, freaking next episode. I doubt we're gonna see Abby like really this much in this episode, or at least Ellie dealing with Abby. So, Last of Us Part Two is gonna be continued in probably season three, and yeah, that's it. Freaking, this is a really good show. This is a really good episode. Please make sure you hit the love or subscribe button because it was fantastic to see the amount of work that they're doing, the range of the characters. Like Pedro is absolutely killing it. I love him for this. This is a great show of emotion. This is, as a father, freaking like I see it in his acting. Like he's done a really good job at portraying Joel and really making you feel something. So hey, I'm with it. I'm here for it. I can't wait for the finale next week. Last of Us season 2, episode 7, season finale. Come check it out with us. Tune in and watch, and let's talk about it. Catch you guys in the next one.